On the docket tonight, a case involving a sheriff's deputy accused of 44 different crimes. Unbelievable stuff. It's out of Tennessee. Julie Grant has the story.
This shocking search by a Chattanooga area sheriff's deputy was caught on dash cam video last July in Hamilton County, Tennessee. Two motorists were stopped by the deputy for an alleged traffic violation. Footage shows Daniel Wilkey and another deputy involved in the strip search of a man on the side of the road. Wilkey allegedly performs an illegal body cavity search of James Myron Mitchell.
This is one of 8 cases that I have involving Mr. Wilkey and then a variety of co-defendants. Common defendants in all those are Wilkey and Hamilton County government.
Daniel Wilkey has been hit with a 44-count indictment related to his actions against suspects he stopped for minor offenses.
Those counts range from rape to reckless driving. In there's reckless endangerment, sexual battery, stalking, and multiple official oppression, official misconduct.
Wilkey is being sued for allegedly using excessive force against Mitchell. As a result of the search captured on this video, he required treatment for anal contusions and surgery on a previously untreated hernia.
With these cases, particularly with James Mitchell, we're alleging that there's a history, if you will, of this type of misconduct that is condoned by Hamilton County government through its sheriff.
Mitchell's lawyer says this is the tip of the iceberg of a much larger problem in Hamilton County.
We've got officers that have not only injured people or are allowed to remain on duty, but also killed people. And until there was pressure from the local NAACP and black ministers here, no action was taken.
Wilkey is also named in a wrongful death lawsuit of a man he shot while on duty for the Ray County Sheriff's Department.
And it was, even though he was cleared, and that's one of the targets of my discovery in this case that we're going to probe, is what occurred there. He shot a man in the head at point blank range at a hospital when this guy was being taken to the hospital for some type of treatment.
Wilkey resigned from the Hamilton County Sheriff's Department in December of 2019. Court TV reached out to the department and they did not wish to comment on the matter.
Roadside strip search, body cavity search. This is beyond. Let's bring back in our think tank. Nima, it's always challenging for prosecutors when police officers are defendants. But then I look at, 44 charges. I mean, have you ever seen a jury come back and say not guilty 44 times?
I have, and jurors love law enforcement, but that's not going to happen in this case. There's so much video evidence against Wilkey. There's so many different cases. And I got to give credit to those civil attorneys, right? Because Hamilton County, they were asleep at the switch. He was sexually assaulting, physically assaulting everyone from men, women, underage children for more than a year before, Hamilton County sheriffs did anything, before any charges were brought. So, give credit to the NAACP, give credit to those civil attorneys for really pushing this case forward. He had problems in neighboring Ray County, but really Hamilton completely dropped the ball. I don't expect to have any issues getting a conviction in this case, regardless of how much jurors love law enforcement, because of all that great video evidence we have.
Yeah, Jeffrey, this is a case where with all the charges and all the accusers and alleged victims who are going to come into that courtroom, it's going to be difficult, I think, to overcome all of that. When it's a police officer and it's one incident and you're focused on what happened there, I think it's a whole different story.
Yeah, I agree. I think that when you're looking at one incident where you're able to say, how could anybody put themselves in that officer's head and know what was going through that officer's head in that moment, whether it's, a case of an officer driving recklessly or, God forbid, shooting somebody or something along those lines. But what we have here is we have so much. And as was just said, the video evidence, I don't know that there's a circumstance where it's not going to shock the conscience of a jury to watch a police officer bend a man over on the side of the road and conduct a full body cavity search on the side of the road. The indignity of that, the cruelty of that, the inability to do it with any sort of sanitation. This case really shocks the conscience.
Yeah, Bernard, I've talked about this story in this case with police officers and former police officers, and all of them are like, no, that's not part of the job. We don't do strip searches on the side of the road. We don't do cavity searches on the side of the road. This is just not normal.
Yeah, and it's so sad because this police officer, former police officer, is the same type of police officer that actually creates the distrust in police officers in the community. This guy is the type of guy that makes police officers look bad. For this guy to have carried out all these actions for so long, and I'm sure the people that he was targeting was African Americans and other minorities, it's a shame. And I don't know who empowered this man to think that this is what he can do, because it took so long, a year, for anyone to even mention what was going on. If it wasn't for the NAACP, would we even know what was going on with this officer? Would this officer still be on the force? What I'm curious to see is if the federal government is going to step in and also open up an investigation in this county to see if there's a history, if other people on the force knew about this and never said anything. So I'm curious to see if the feds are going to step in.
And of course, Court TV will continue to track this trial as well. We've got a date coming up in March 23rd, a status hearing. And I'm sure at that hearing we may get indications of what the trial date will be. We'll keep an eye on it.